Hello, Pahrump. I'm Dr. Michael Reiner, your host for the Independent Doctors of Pahrump, and tonight is, well, I guess today is another live show, and it is MLK Day, and so hope everybody celebrated MLK Day by showing their patriotism towards this great country and what it stands for, despite all of the racial tensions that exist. Because I believe they were due to the current administration, but that's my personal belief. And they had that disclaimer at the beginning of the show that says the opinions are not suggested of this TV show. But I was watching one station where they said, "Hang a flag." I mean, this is a great day for all rights for all individuals, regardless of your race, color, or creed. But anyway, this is not a political show. This is a medical show. So I never want to miss an opportunity to get my thoughts in there. So listen, there really isn't anything really new happening in the medical community. Got a few medical marijuana things going on. I'll talk about if we get a chance. But Ray has blessed me with his call. Ray.
Ray the Flagman here is on schedule.
Yep.
I got two questions for you,
Sure.
Doc. And one is amazing to me. I found out the other day there was a call-in show. They had three people from the Cancer Society on the radio. And they were talking, and what I did is I texted them, and I said, well, what is it with the Cancer Society as far as alternative treatments for cancer instead of surgery and chemotherapy? And they said, we don't research anything. We just accumulate money. We get this money and we give it to a committee who decides what's going to be researched. And it has to be a scientific possibility or something for anybody to get any money. I always thought the Cancer Society was out there researching, but they're not. It's a money-collecting organization when they have these relay races and everything else. If you could elaborate on that, I'd appreciate it, because I talked to Louis and Chuck Augustine, and it seems like nobody is aware of this, and I was shocked when I found out. Now, the second thing is, I saw in the paper, and I heard that someone had hacked into the medical marijuana deal, and they got information on people's medical conditions as far as HIPAA and everything else, plus their Social Security number and everything else. You would think something like the medical use place up in Carson City would have been had some kind of protection, so people who have this card and have a medical problem, it wouldn't be accessible just to someone who's browsing or whatever. So those are my two questions, and I'll open the line up, but I hope you can answer both of them. Thank you very much for being there today, Doc.
You bet. Thank you, Ray, for calling in. You always have really great questions. I stop preparing shows when I get callers because it just kind of on the fly, on the cuff type stuff, and it always sparks really good conversation. And yeah, it's kind of almost like the Red Cross, the Cancer Society, these agencies out there that do promote the raising of money, and most people who give to those agencies don't really understand everything that goes into where their money goes. If their coffers get big enough, they donate money to different things, and it's not cancer research, you're right. NIH, Sloan Kettering, some of these other great hospitals that do primary cancer research are better if you want to make sure your money goes to a particular research. So that's where you as the donor has to be aware of where your money goes and what happens to it. And it's another buyer beware type of thing. As far as cancer research is concerned, most of these people are getting grants and getting things from the government, or the pharmaceutical industry is actually making an investment in cancer research medications. And So that's why you start to see the price of, like, say, a new antibiotic. I mean, there have been very little new antibiotics that have hit the market because, and if they do, they're like $3,000, $5,000 for a course, because everything is based on you taking a medication for a lifetime as opposed to just taking it for a short interval. And it's not really the cost of the medication. One of the things that I now understand is a lot about dispensing fees from pharmacies. Albuterol, which is a common solution, generic, used for breathing, I think the actual dose or the actual month's worth of medications would be literally $5 cost to the pharmacy, but they'll charge $95 because of the pharmacy's dispensing fees. And that's why Walmart did what it did by limiting pain medications to 120 per customer. And they did that not because of the DEA or not because of some other rule, but they were only getting X number of pills. So if they only got X number of pills, then they basically they wanted to make sure that all of their customers got prescriptions. So they made up this arbitrary rule. They were only going to give 120 because they were losing money on all these other prescriptions. So it's, you know, the almighty mighty dollar there. We have Dwayne on the phone, and I'll get to Ray's second question in a minute. Dwayne.
Yeah, doctor, good to talk to you. Listen, I made a New Year's resolution to quit smoking tobacco after 43 years. I was curious. I've been smoke-free since New Year's Eve, and was wondering, when would I start noticing the effects of quitting as into gaining my breath back?
Well, first of all, I mean, nicotine is out of your system in 72 hours. It takes about 30 days for your lung to actually rejuvenate to its condition, and about 6 months to clear out most of that stuff. So your maximum effect from quitting smoking will probably be achieved in probably 6 months, but you're noticing the effects immediately. And one of the things that the smoking is going to do, and it depends how much damage was actually done over the 43 years of smoking, but one of the things that will help is that the tissue that was damaged to the smoking will regenerate to a columnar type of cells with a little hair cilia that help beat the mucus up out of the lung. One of the things you do when you smoke is you kill those cells, or you I don't want to say kill them, but you basically cause them to what they call change into skin-like cells. But the mucus-producing cells don't change. So that's why you have a smoker's cough, because you can't clear the mucus, so you have to cough it up. You'll notice the smoker's cough, if you have one, go away, and then in 6 months you probably will achieve the maximal effect on your lungs. That's a good time to test your lung function to see where you're at that particular time. And that's basically the basic synopsis. So I don't know how much damage over 43 years. How many packs did you smoke over 43 years?
Pack to pack and a half a day.
Okay, so you have greater than a 50-year pack history, which is you take your number of years and multiply it by the number of packs per day, and that would define you as being a very, you know, long-term smoker. 50 years. You probably have some COPD. How old are you?
Just turned. I'll be 62 in July.
Okay. How do you feel right now when you walk and exercise and exert yourself?
Actually, I feel pretty good. I noticed that I can catch my breath when I lay down at night, and that was the major proponent for me to quit, was I could not get my breath at night when I laid down. So, you know, I've noticed already a great significant change.
Well, and then, you know, that there may be a heart and lung combination there too. When you change position, you change redistribution of your volume in your lung. The lung has three distributions. There's a upper, middle, and lower part, but when you lay down, they have to change. It's kind of like those oil and water things. When you turn them up here, then you turn them on the side. And the middle part is where the air or blood and air mix. That's where you get your changes in your saturations. But when you lay down, your lung goes from like this to this, and so that layer becomes a thin. So sometimes that distribution or redistribution of that exchange where oxygen and blood are exchanged, that has to equilibrate, and that may be the shortness of breath that you get when you first lay down. And if you've noticed that kind of going away, then yes, you are already achieving improvement from that. So that's a good thing.
Very good, doctor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the call. Really appreciate that. Yeah, and congratulations to you quitting smoking. I know it's a tough habit to beat. It's a very, very especially in Pahrump or any town where smoking in the casinos is very ubiquitous. Everybody tends to do it, and so it takes a lot of willpower because there's always somebody out there that'll have a cigarette that you can bum one off. And first time things get a little bit bad, you want to reach back up and smoking. Smoking is a ritualistic behavior, and it's associated with good times and bad times, just as any addiction is. You can reward yourself or you feel bad. So when you're quitting, the things that can happen in your life that you feel good, you want to reward yourself and have a cigarette. If things feel bad, you want to block it out, so you have a cigarette. So there's always an excuse for your addiction, and nicotine is an addiction. I mean, the definition of addiction is doing something despite the negative consequence of the action. So there's nothing good about smoking, nothing. I mean, you can't tell me one thing that's good about smoking. And so you're doing some negative behavior and getting a negative result. So it's definitely an addiction. So we're going to go to break, and we'll be right back. Thank you for tuning in. Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Reiner, your host of the Independent Doctors of Pahrump, a TV show that airs Monday night on Channel 46. I want to remind you that I am a practicing physician in Pahrump, and I'm an independent practitioner, which means I am not bought by any insurance company or corporate medicine. We provide the highest level of care. We have nurse practitioners. We have other physicians, specialists who come to our office. Please come visit me. I'm at 1316 East Calvada here in the heart of Pahrump. Thank you.